and welcome to episode number 65 of the Solo Gamer Podcast. We return to your ears and some of your eyes with incredible gaming knowledge.
I don't know about that.
Dude,
Right.
I have to what's so funny? At this moment every week, I always want to come up with something silly to say like that, but I never prepare it. So then I get here and I'm like, fuck, what am I going to say this
What
week?
do I say?
I was like, usually have names like the most distinguished co-hosts in the podcasting realm.
Oh my gosh, what a way to start it.
I love it.
So let's welcome you guys in. Taylor, you're in here for the second time from your new home. How's it coming together? How are you doing this week, man?
It's good, man. It's going really well. Again, another week of there's an errant box here and there that needs to be shoved in some corner, but for the most part, everything's out and about, and now we're just kind of thinking about the future of what the spot is going to look like, 6 months from now, a year from now. So we're kind of putting together the design decisions of where everything's going to go and what we're going to have in there. So this is kind of the exciting part of moving in that I'm really stoked for. So, but it's going well.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, that's great, man.
It'll be cool to slowly kind of see the room come together around you as each week progresses. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, you can only put
so
up
excited
one
for
thing per episode behind you.
I know. It'll just be my facial hair and stuff. Me and Ian were talking earlier. Every week you get a new variation on the look going on here. Today we get the clean shaven look.
Every week is a new accessory that you're wearing.
Combo. So keep your eyes peeled. Maybe that'll happen.
Every week before this show, because I always prepare, and one of the things I do on Wednesdays now is shave. Just because it's I'm going to be on camera. There's no other reason to not, during the week. I usually shave once a week anyways, but this is kind of lined up. It's okay, cool. I'll just do it on Wednesdays. And so I just let it rock until then. And it's every Tuesday, I just look rough, man. I look straight out of, I look like an extra straight out of the Fallout show by Tuesday afternoon. It's brutal. Kyle.
Yo.
Welcome back, man.
Yep.
I very nearly almost put on the same shirt as you. So
okay, perfect. We actually, we probably should coordinate what we're wearing sometimes because we do have some similar stuff.
We do have some of the same, and the reason I even thought about that is because I was complimenting Taylor on his shirt. His shirt is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's sick, man.
And so, and then I saw your shirt. And I was like, "Oh, that's funny. I just had that shirt in my hands, and then decided to wear something else." So,
dang,
this weird coincidence. How's it going, man? How's your evening? How's your week been?
Good, man. Busy. I just took the best nap I've ever had.
I was wondering if that was going to happen.
I love a good nap.
You had a rough night last night, so
yeah. I was up pretty late and supposed to go to the gym this morning, but I was like, dude, I can't do this.
Hey, man, if you're texting me at 3 a.m. telling me, you haven't been asleep yet, it's fine.
Dude, if you get any text message at 3 a.m, just know it's being canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rough go.
Well, and the funny thing, too, is I love going to the gym, and I always feel great, and I really do enjoy it. But there is 100% a part of me that's kind of hoping to see that text every morning.
Oh, dude, yeah. There's been a few times where I've just been yes.
It is. It's true. It's just it's this weird relief. The version of the part of me that is sleeping is oh God, yes, go to sleep. Just go right back.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
No, I'll give myself some credit. I did still get up I only got another maybe extra half hour, and I was no, I got to get up, even if I'm not going. Just try and stay on schedule. Because if I go to sleep for another hour and a half, then it's really hard for me to go to bed on time the next night. I'm up and down and up and down. Are you guys good
I love
sleepers?
That. Well, I don't know about I don't know. It depends on the day, I guess. I'm an incredible napper because I will nail a solid 20-minute nap right on the dot and feel incredible.
I love a good nap. I feel like I used to sleep a lot worse like a year or two ago, but I don't know. It's kind of like we had like a little text exchange earlier today talking about like being 30 and how like things have changed for us and how being comfortable is so much more important
Yeah.
once I've hit this age threshold that like I used to be the kind of guy that would be like I can get away with 6 hours of sleep like no
Oh yeah,
problem.
I used to.
And nowadays it's like I get tired at like 9:30 and I'm like struggling to stay awake, and usually the only thing that remedies that is if I do take a nap earlier in the day, and then I get kind of a second wind right around that time. So I rarely ever nowadays, even on the weekends, like am I rarely up past like 1:30. So
Dude,
it's kind of crazy.
I feel like we're getting to that age. I don't know if you guys are doing the same thing now where like I can't even do it on the weekends. Cuz I'm like
Yeah,
if
it's
I don't
tough.
go to bed around the same time on the weekends, the weekday is going to be rough.
Yeah.
It's going to be terrible. It's going to be hard to turn it around. It takes a few days of prep if I do anything wrong nowadays. So it's sad to say.
That's
But
so funny, man.
yeah.
I feel like everyone has their own like sleep story. Everyone has a very personal relationship, and sometimes those are very abusive, awful relationships, and sometimes they're very healthy relationships. But everyone's got a relationship with their sleep selves. And it's like everyone is different. The way they sleep, how well they sleep, how long they need, like all that stuff. It's kind of interesting. All that. Like I just can't. I am a night owl, but I'm not. I've kind of trained myself out of it to an extent.
Yeah.
It's like you can't get rid of some. I can't just get rid of some habits or like some difficulties of falling asleep. Once I'm asleep, it's kind of dangerous because I won't wake up. I mean, there could be like an EMP drop on Wenatchee and with a massive sonic boom,
You
and
are unconscious.
I'd wake up, at 9 in the morning, or 8 in the morning, or whatever on a Saturday, and be like, "Oh, power's out." And the whole world is like, God, I can't, I don't wake up at all. But I have a hard time falling asleep. I don't want to go to bed. I love sleep. I love waking up in the middle of the night and being all comfortable and be like, hell yeah, it's only 4. I'm going back to sleep. I enjoy sleeping, but I really struggle with that. It gets to be that 9-10 p.m. part of the night. I'm like, fuck, no, like I am not ready to go clock in at work. I am not going to sleep. I won't do it.
Yeah,
so I've had to build
Dude,
all
that's
of
the
these
worst
habits.
part. Sometimes I get into that mode too where it feels like I'm giving up, because it's like you want to have your free like 6 to 8 hours at the end of the work day. That it just feels like no, I'm literally taking a time machine back to work if I just go to sleep now, and it's the worst.
It's like I just kind of stopped thinking about work and stopped being in that mode and got comfortable and made dinner and all that. And then it's like 9 to 10. It's like what do you mean I'm done? I haven't done anything yet.
I know.
I haven't gotten to enjoy myself. That's first world problems.
Life.
True.
As I just eat and eat and eat and drink clean water. I don't want to go to bed. This is so hard.
Free me from this hell.
Yeah, it's like okay. Sometimes I try to back out and just remember, not only am I eating whatever I want, I'm also I have dogs that eat 2 square meals a day,
right?
with wet food topper.
Yeah,
it's like we got this shit good, dude.
Right.
So I do try to remember that. So this week, friends, listeners, new listeners, old listeners, I don't know. It's funny. I'm trying to kind of track the listening, how many people and stuff. It's kind of fun to look that, on our hosting service. You can kind of see who's listening and when. I think you can do a Spotify too, so I need to check that out. But
I love seeing that stuff.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we'll have to like, I don't know that we've really gained a ton of followers or anything, but I do really appreciate the fact that we do have a small, just hyper dedicated little group of people listening every week. It's super cool. We really,
thanks for coming.
Everyone's always writing in and putting comments, on YouTube. Craig and Miles, and we got Mtrox, Matt, and we got Cream Lord and a number of others.
Cream Lord.
Lord
Cream
of the
Lord.
Cream.
No, the write-ins are great right now.
I made a promise. I'm keeping it. That's what I'm going to say every time.
You better. He'll be upset.
So a few weeks ago, Taylor brought up an idea. As we're kind of brainstorming topics, we have a whole list of topics. We really do enjoy kind of these evergreen discussions that don't get immediately dated by conversations about news and all of that. So that's our kind of our go-to thing for the primary episodes of TSG. And one of Taylor's ideas was like, well, kind of seasonal, and are there games that remind you of summertime? And at first, when you first told me that, Taylor, I was like, no, not really at all. But then I took some time. I was like, give me some time to really think about this. And it was actually, I had more than I thought, and they kept coming up, as I really just took some spare brain space in between all of the activities of the day with that kind of in the back of my head. And I was like, came up with a surprising number of answers for it. So I'm really curious to hear what you guys have for this. And I think a little nostalgia bait is always a good idea.
I love me some nostalgia bait.
Because that's kind of what this ended up becoming for me. Is like summers are specifically great when you're a kid because you're not going to school. Summers as an adult suck because you're working while the kids are out. So no, they don't suck unless you're me. Or maybe you, Taylor, where you are.
Yeah, or it's hot and you don't want to go outside. So
yeah.
You don't want to be in the sun. You actively avoid it.
I've always told everyone who lives in Washington that's never been to Phoenix that asks me, about the summers or whatever. I'm like, honestly, it's just kind of like winter here in Wenatchee. So we have very cold winters on this side of the state, and you just don't really go out. If you go out, you get your coat and sweaters and hats, and you get into your car, which is heated, and you drive somewhere, and you get out, and you walk through the really incredibly cold air into your next heated place, and take all your warming clothes off and sit down and do what you're doing. It's the same thing. It's just air conditioning.
Right. Yeah, dude. I mean, I just can't imagine growing up. What if it was like winter break instead of like summer break?
I would have loved that. My pale, white, nerdy game playing little ass.
Yeah.
There's like
dream scenario.
No guilt associated. Yeah, exactly. Dream scenario. Like there'd be no guilt. No one. I would never have parents being like, "You need to go outside." Like, I am outside. I'm in Skyrim.
Yeah. Right.
Mother. I think I've told you that when Skyrim first came out, I was still living in the condo that I moved to Phoenix in with my mom. Like I lived with her for like, I don't know, 8 or 9 months before I moved into my own place. And I was marveling at the beauty of Skyrim. I was like, this mom, look at this. This is incredible. And she looks up, she goes, looks like Washington State.
Nah.
Right? Isn't it incredible?
She's like, looks like home. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, you know what? It actually kind of does look like Washington State. You're right. I've always thought that ever since I've continued to play Skyrim. So that's what we're going to dive into. We got some great write-ins this week. You guys know the drill. Well, first of all, we know Gamescom is happening. There are some interesting things coming out of there. We're going to take this week and just see if any trailers or announcements kind of hit our interest. See if they catch our eye, kind of a thing. We'll watch a few things. If we come away with much, we'll discuss some more of that next week after it's all said and done. There's a lot there, and it all happened today and yesterday as of recording. So we don't really want to go too into that yet, other than there's some ROG Ally stuff, which I'm kind of interested in. But other than that, nothing I've seen really caught my eye quite yet. So we'll get back to you guys next week. If you do want to write in next week about Gamescom, any games you're excited about, announcements, let us know, write in, and we'll definitely include those in our conversation when we do a little bit of a news bit for next week. But for this week, we'll start, as we always do, with what we've been playing. Kyle, let's start with you this week. I see you've got one game listed, and I understand why, because that's just what happens when this game comes in. It's kind of like an old X or something. this series feels like. So take us away, man. What have you been playing this week?
Yeah, there's two games that I treat like an unhealthy addiction, and it's definitely League of Legends and Total War games. It's one of those things where every once in a while I just start fiending to play a campaign in Total War, and
It's weird, isn't it?
yeah, it is weird.
Where does that come from?
It's the pace
like
of the
what
game
for you specifically. Okay,
Yeah.
What is Total War like? What itch is it scratching for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the overarching there's the style of the game, having to micromanage all these little different things, but going at it at your pace, so you don't have to be super intense about it, and I can stop and like if I need to respond to somebody on my phone or something, it's like all of that. I'm still very present in everything that's going on around me at the same time. So I think that's part of it that plays into it is just kind of the pacing. Sometimes I'm just not really trying to be super into what I'm doing. And then of course it's just such a fun game. I mean, and there's specifically with Warhammer, every faction feels like its own game in a sense.
Yeah.
Because the way they play is so different. So there's still to this day there's like some sort of lord that I haven't played so far that I'm like, oh, I wonder how they play. Lately though, I've been this last campaign I decided I was like, I want to try to see what very hard is like, difficulty level with the campaign and battles. Unfortunately I was kind of disappointed, but it doesn't feel any different from hard. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I mean, I understand that what's happening is that the battles, I guess the AI is a little bit more intuitive. Like they react better to like you casting your spells and stuff like that. And then of course on the campaign map, I think they just get an extra boost in gold, but they're not any smarter. So I still destroy all of them. I don't understand what's going on there. But it's been fun though. It's a little bit more difficult. But yeah, I just kind of had to like scratch that itch essentially. I know that I've been in the middle of KCD2, but I've stopped at a spot there where I'm like, I'm going to progress in the main story and finish it at this point. I've done a lot of side quests and stuff. So, just been busy and wanting to do other things. I've kind of just put a pause on it. Not that I got bored of it at all. It's just, it's at a spot where I'm like, once I pick this up, it's going to be, me finishing the rest of the story at this point. So, once I'm ready, I'll buckle down and get into that. But yeah, man, Total War and League, it's like I can only step away from it for so long, and it just starts gnawing at me in the back of my mind. I'm like, I gotta get in there. I gotta do a campaign.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how that works, man. There's something about certain games, I think especially that have a level of replayability too, as part of it. It's like, you the dressing is different, the window dressing is different as far as maybe you're playing differently with a different faction, especially for Warhammer, like you mentioned. But no matter what you're doing or how you're going about it with each faction, there's just something about the rhythm. Like you said, you're able to react to things going on in your world. You're not so dialed in and in a competitive space where you're playing against other players and you can't break your concentration. I've always liked Total War for that. It's ironic in the sense that it is somewhat hands off in that you can just get up and leave it playing and nothing happens, because it's sort of like a board game almost, the way that it functions with that turn base. But there's enough going on to where there's something about it that just grabs my thought process, in the sense that I'm thinking multiple steps down the road and what I want to do here. And then all of a sudden you've been playing for 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
just going through your turns, and there's just enough. I don't know. It's
I say it like it's easy, gambling. But it's like every turn I'm like, I can't tell you how many times I've been like, all right, I'm going to finish this thing up here. I'm going to start building an army here and finish up, the building chains here and move my army over here. And then I'm like, that's going to be it. That's going to be the end of the turn. And then I'm going to get off. And then I hit that end of the turn. Next turn comes around. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to finish this a little bit here.
Yep. There's just enough happens in the interim of the other AI players' turns to where you get to that point. You're like, oh man, there's been some developments that I wasn't anticipating yet, and now you want to sort of address those. It's very well designed. I don't think Creative Assembly gets enough credit for. There's been some big stumbles along the way, and they've had some problems with overpriced DLC that they've owned up to and changed things and given people refunds. And, there's definitely been some of that corporate greed, which unfortunately just kind of sinks into every crack and orifice in the industry now. But for the most part,
they're owned by Sega, right?
They are. Yep, they're a Sega team, which is why they were also able to make Alien Isolation, because Sega owns the rights for the Alien franchise for games.
Interesting.
I've been thinking about, my number one complaint has always been, or I shouldn't say always, but I would say over the last half a decade with Total War games, is we got to do something about the AI. Now, how did you create the greatest AI in gaming history in Alien Isolation, but for some reason it just doesn't seem to be a topic of discussion? And maybe not enough people feel the same way as me.
It's like apples and oranges. It's not really the same.
It's totally different type of game. Yeah,
like what the AI has to do and how it has to do it is so much different from, because I feel like the AI in Alien Isolation it's complex, but it's only complex because it has this massive tree. And the tree of the how it decides to do what next is very governed by what is an extremely limited amount of options. It's one alien looking for one player in one environment.
For sure. Yeah.
I just feel like it's probably a lot harder. But to your credit, you're right. It's been a long time, and there's like a legacy of serious issues with the AI, both on the campaign map and in battles. Sometimes it improves here and there in different spots, but they don't ever. It seems like they've never really been able to get it down. At the same time, I don't know that I want an AI that's like just as good of a player, just whoops my ass every single time I play, because I'm not.
But I envision that very hard should actually be like that, though.
Yeah, I would agree for sure. What was that, Taylor?
I was gonna say, do you guys feel like the AI in like the newer entries in the series have like improved in any real way? Like I think you were talking about Pharaoh or something, whatever the newest one was, I forget. Has it been better in like the newer installments?
No, especially since that's Pharaoh is from essentially a pretty separate team.
Okay.
The way that Pharaoh plays stylistically is kind of is pretty different from like Warhammer. You can tell that they have like kind of different ideas, like gameplay wise, especially with just the economy in general. But I mean, I just mean like I've gotten to the point where I've played enough Total War where I know exactly like how the AI is thinking and how it wants to play the game, and so I know how to basically cheat or work around it. And it'll never catch on to what I'm doing is the irritating part. So I'm like, I feel like there could be some room for improvement. If not improving, at least something different. So I'm like, I have to learn a new trick because it's been the same for a while.
I feel like
we should just play a campaign.
Yeah,
I feel like that technology is just about there. Like I feel like if you can do fighting games. Like how I know the new Tekken has a mode where you can fight a ghost of yourself that plays almost exactly like how you would play, makes the same mistakes you would make, but also like makes the same moves. And you can download ones for like your friends' fighters as well. So it's almost like even though you're not playing them like actually through like an internet connection, like you can play almost like an AI version of like your friend that has like all the same like moves and pitfalls and penalties and stuff. Like, so I almost wonder if you could implement that technology in something like Total War. I think that would be
something a little bit more adaptive. I mean, because it's very clear that the AI has a very set in stone set of rules of how it operates by, and once you learn it, it doesn't matter what difficulty you play on, you're just going to destroy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of legacy issues. It's like they don't know how to build interesting armies. So it's like it'll just spam like a couple of units over and over or whatever. So it's like, I mean, these factions, it just doesn't build their armies right, and it doesn't. And then there's even things where it's like if the AI was a little better, there's also they don't have to follow some of the same rules. It feels like. So then they just kind of get annoying, and you'll destroy them, and they'll have one little village left, and yet they're still able to build an entire full stack of troops or whatever. Like, this is stupid. I've already destroyed you. You know, like I couldn't do this.
If I was in charge of the Total War development team, I would turn the AI adaptiveness on the ogres up to 11, specifically to play against you guys.
That'd be fun
to give them their time in the sun to conquer the world.
Hey, they have their place, which is on the bottom of the boot of whatever civilized.
Yeah, they always survive in my campaigns. They don't get taken out because they're not anybody's problem. Like,
we need justice for the ogres.
Yeah, that's so true.
They're a crazy faction too. There's so many factions in that game. It's an achievement. It's pretty incredible what Creative Assembly has built with that game, and it just keeps going. And it's kind of like a game as a service now. They just keep bringing out new factions and new legendary lords, and it always brings me back. I feel like I play Warhammer 3 kind of once a year now when they bring out a new DLC, and I'll go in, and it usually comes with a host of updates for the game overall as well.
Yeah.
And if it's a faction I'm interested in playing, I'll buy it and pick them up and play it. If it's not, then I'll usually wait for that to go on sale if I don't care really about the legendary lords. But they still get added to the game. You just can't play as them. So you can go in and just start a new campaign. It's just kind of a reason to come back in. And I play pretty much once a year for 30, 40 hours.
And they've gotten better about the initial pricing too, which I love. So
yeah, they after that horrible incident where they charged a lot for what was not very much. It was kind of cool. It was cool to see a very large community go, no, we're not. This is insane. We're not buying this. And the people who did buy it were just posting everywhere they could. This is the worst value for dollar proposition we've seen ever. And Creative, I mean, they had to change. They had to. I'm assuming Sega's $1 billion company. They had to be like, nope, give them their money back. I mean, if enough people say absolutely not and refuse to buy it and ask for refunds, it's amazing what a big corporation will suddenly do.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's pretty amazing. Taylor, I see a few games listed here. Have the moths been dealt with yet, or are we going to have a problem this week?
Yeah, it's been a pretty productive video game week for me, which I've been excited about. It feels like
hell yeah,
we're a little bit more back to normal now. I feel like I have a little bit more energy lately, which is great. I know that sounds nuts to say that about playing video games, but
I've noticed a different vibe. I was going to mention I noticed a different vibe about you, man.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot better. So, and the nice thing is that I feel like I was able to make progress in everything this week, which was really cool. So, we'll start off here by talking about Metaphor, which I broke back into this last week, and I think I'm in maybe like the third or fourth like major area in the game, and I think I want to say I'm like 27-ish hours in. So I'm if our mark serves right when it comes to like a Team Persona game, I'm at about the quarter mark through the game, and I'm just in this really cool section of the game where like the main quest right now is you kind of go to this desert town, and you and your group are kind of like tasked with figuring out why a bunch of children have gone missing from this village. Like every night or something like that, it's like despite the best efforts of everybody in the city, like a couple people and a couple kids specifically like just end up going missing in the middle of the night. So you and your team kind of like get dispatched to this village to kind of see what's going on. And there's a lot of corruption going on with the guards there who are like selling people into slavery and stuff, which is really, really interesting. And I'm in the dungeon now, and the way that kind of Persona games work is that like you're kind of on like a schedule. So usually for their dungeons, you have like a week to about a week and a half to like go all the way through the dungeon and like make progress. So usually what happens is you'll go through like a quarter of the dungeon. All of your teammates will be out of like magic to use for the rest of the dungeon. So that's kind of like effectively where you like call it a night. So you exit the dungeon, you go to sleep for the night, and then you go back into the dungeon the next day. And so it becomes this really interesting like balancing act of like, do you want to complete a side quest or something like while you're already sort of on this main quest? But if you do that, it takes a day off the calendar that you could use to go run through the dungeon,
Oh,
which I think is really like a really cool balance to strike, because you want to leave yourself enough time to go through the dungeon effectively and beat the final boss or whatever it is, but you also want to spend time like raising the level with your teammates, making sure like your affinity goes up with them. So like you'll be doing these little side missions where like you're kind of getting to know a teammate more, and then your affinity goes up with them, and then they get like a special bonus, like this character gets 15% more magic because you unlocked this next level of the relationship with them. So it makes it really, really fun, and
very
I'm
cool.
excited that I'm back into it. And I think the nice thing too is that since it's like a visual novel, also there's a lot of points where like I can basically just kind of watch the game almost like a TV show. Like I just set the audio to automatically play as the cutscene kind of goes through, and then I can sort of like passively like look at my phone or like check something and almost kind of watch it as if it's a TV show. So that's one of the things I love about those games, is that it strikes the gameplay versus like the story and narrative aspect like really, really well. So I've been having a lot of fun making progress through
It's a
that, which is
cool
cool.
idea. Specifically, you're talking about how doing too many side quests is kind of like affecting the overall. Um,
Yeah, and
uh,
the interesting thing is that there's a way to do it like 100% efficiently, so that way like you do all the side quests, you go through the dungeon no problem, but like you have to be very wise about how you spend your time.
mhm.
And there are like guides out there that will tell you like on this day you want to do this, on this day you want to go into the dungeon, and you can kind of follow it that way. But I've never been one that like follows like the schedule that closely. It's usually kind of like if a side quest interests me, I'll go off and do it. But for the most part, I'm just doing like the main dungeon. So
Okay. From that's I like that. I from the from like a from a an outsider's perspective, I like the idea of kind of the like the natural stoppage that you'll have through what would otherwise be probably a huge undertaking, this big dungeon, and you're getting
mm,
these sort of natural stop points where you feel like you're making progress through the game, you're improving your characters, you're advancing the story, all of these different things are happening for you that are giving you that sense of I'm making my way through the game, and then you just get these natural stops. Where it's like, okay, well, I'm done now. And then you go back, and then
mm,
then that gives you the opportunity to talk to the characters. I don't know. I just think that's cool. It kind of reminds me of almost like a Bioware,
Yeah.
old school
for sure.
Bioware game. The way they set that up to where you have these kind of breaks, these big long portions of action and or story, and then you return to a familiar place, and you save and you can stop or you can upgrade your characters and then you go back and then use the new abilities. It's kind of a tried and true RPG mechanic. It's
For
cool to
sure.
hear about it from that perspective. Sounds like fun, man.
Yeah, I love that
I
idea.
sometimes I hear this stuff. I'm just like, God, maybe I should try it.
I know, right?
Yeah, I think the only thing I wish that they did a little bit better, or did a little better in that dungeon system, is I've always liked the D&D idea specifically of like you and your party like spending the night in the dungeon, like almost like you're going through and finding like a spare room or something that like fits everybody, and everybody gets out their rollaway beds and like kind of makes like a camp like in a section of the dungeon. For every metaphor dungeon, like whenever there's a stopping point, you basically have to teleport to the beginning of the dungeon and like effectively leave.
Hmm.
So it's like kind of like you're coming in and out. And I would almost rather it be like a situation where like you're like spending the night in the dungeon, which I think is kind of a cool like idea. Like it's such a harrowing mission, and the dungeon itself is so expansive that like there's no point in going back out of it. You might as well just stay in it, you know. But that also defeats the purpose of like kind of the social link aspect of the game too. So I kind of wish they struck that balance a little better. But it's really really cool. I love how they do it.
Yeah. Kyle, what were you going to say earlier?
Oh, I just think that it adds kind of like to the immersion of it, because there's often times where I'm playing side quests and I'll get really distracted with side quests. And when I think about it, it's like with the overall story, it's like, this doesn't make sense. Like, why am I spending so much time sidetracked here? You know what I'm saying? So like adding that extra bit of realism to it and immersion, to where it's like, if you actually waste too much time, the overall like main story is being ruined by that, and you could actually be facing, everything falling apart, right? Like if you've got like some boss that you need to fight and he actually ends up taking over the world because you just like were doing some like side quest for some person, like I don't know, like getting them like like a bunch of like eggs or something, or retrieving them, like something stupid, and so like sometimes it's like I love that, like I love that aspect of realism to it, because I feel like sometimes there's more immersion to it when there's like a real actual world clock going on.
Yeah, I love that, and the transition from day to day is really cool too. Like it shows like a clock, like when you finish the end of the day.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Like it'll physically show the day like switching over, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like it when like a certain quests have like timelines, and if I don't complete it within like a week of the game, like game time, then that side quest is gone because something has occurred and everything's moved on. The world feels a little bit more real that way.
Yeah, it's not all just there to be your play thing. It feels more like an actual place because it's going to do its own thing even when you're not around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. There's a game coming out that's doing that. It's the Bloodwalker or whatever, the one that's with the former Witcher writers and developers.
Oh, yeah.
Where that guy, the character you're playing, I think he's trying to save his family, or like somebody has his wife and kids, or something very pressing, and you have a limited amount of in-game time to get to them. And
cool idea.
It's got to be a hard balance as a developer to make it so that you feel that pressure in a way that is interesting and new and rewarding without it ruining the whole thing, because you're just constantly being beat over the head with the fact that you have to get this done right now. And there's definitely a middle ground to strike there. So
you definitely also
see how they do it.
Yeah, you don't want to also be caught with your pants down in a sense where you're like, you've done all these side quests and then now you're realizing that you actually can't beat the game. Like that would be definitely like shitty.
Yeah.
Like I want there to be a kind of a clock going on here, but not to the point to where I have to load like several saves ago to be able to actually complete the main storyline.
I realized that I took too long doing this or that.
Yeah.
It has to be clearly communicated. It can't be too rushed. It can't be so slow that it has no meaning or risk of consequence, right? It's a tough balance. I'll be interested to see how they do that. And
I normally don't really like those kind of mechanics either. I mean, I've historically been like,
I know what you're thinking about.
Yeah, people know I'm not a big fan of Majora's Mask, and that's like a chief reason why. It's because I hate the timeline that they put you on there. But I think it's too quick. They didn't, for me anyway, they didn't strike the balance well enough to be able to make it so that way it's not really frustrating to play through sections of the game like that where I constantly feel like I'm pressed for time, So,
Yeah, I don't want to have a deadline.
yeah.
This is the main reason I'm glad that I'm not a games reviewer for an outlet, an IGN or a Game Informer, where you're having to play these games under incredible time pressure.
Oh yeah,
because I just feel like that could ruin a great game.
100%.
Having that feeling. In fact, there is this game keeps coming back up, and I'm not. It's weird. I don't know why, but one of the most infamous video game reviews of all time. And some people would say you can find interesting videos on YouTube about this, but some people would say it kind of really was the beginning of the end of IGN's place at the top of the games journalism mountain was, and I actually really like Ryan McCaffrey, but Ryan McCaffrey's review of Alien Isolation is a train wreck of a review.
Oh, wow.
And he had like a week or whatever to beat it. And the game tells you when you to start, it says that hard mode is kind of the way that it was designed to be played, because that's what the AI is firing on all cylinders, and it's very challenging, but that's the point. And
Yeah.
I don't think he was very good at the game. I think he was stressed out and rushed, and he hated it, and he gave it a 5.9. And
whoa!
like every other reviewer, just about gave it way, way, way higher scores. And obviously, it's a cult hit. It's now sold over 2 million copies, and there's people worship that game.
Yikes!
But it's just funny, and it does not look good in hindsight when you go to IGN and you see they gave that a 5.9, and everyone else gave it a lot higher score. There's a couple people that didn't like it as much, but it is very hard, and it can be incredibly frustrating. But I never felt like I was cheated. It was just like, oh, why did I step into that hall? Just these little things. It's always on. It's kind of a Dark Souls like vibe with that game. So maybe he wasn't expecting that. And
yeah, everybody has a bad day at the office. Like
yeah.
There's definitely a lot of reviewers out there that probably gave a legendary game, a really bad score, or never gave it a second pass. So everybody's got their moment. For sure.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, IGN even released another online. The reason I said online video is because I can't remember if this was when YouTube was just everyone's primary thing. You don't have IGN was really pushing their own video player for many, 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 many years before they finally gave up and just went to YouTube. So I don't remember where that was on the timeline, but they had their own video within a month or two after, and it was another reviewer from IGN saying in defense of Alien Isolation. It's like they're like, get it out, yeah. You like it. It's funny. Silent Hill 2 as well, right? I know I teased you about the moths, but have you gotten much further at all in that, past that, like other than just kind of what you mentioned there in the beginning?
Oh yeah, I made some good progress in it. So one of my favorite things that I had in this most recent play session is I finally got actually acquainted with Pyramid Head, which was really cool.
Damn.
So like there's this part of the game. So let me back up slightly. One of the things that kind of like I think was holding me back a little bit from kind of getting into Silent Hill is like the part with the moths in it. You're like in this apartment complex, and the setting of it was kind of annoying me because like everything looks really similar. Like I have no idea where I'm going. Like there's very few like identifying landmarks in this apartment complex. It just looks like rusted walls and like metal grates and stuff. And you go into like a room or something, and it'll be like the same couch and TV and fridge that's half open with like some unknown substance spewing out of it in like every room. And it was just kind of bothering me because I'm like, where the hell am I? Like, normally there would be like some sort of like, oh, this is the room that has a gargoyle in it or something. And there's none of that in this part of the game. So I was kind of like,
yellow paint?
That's what I need. I was getting frustrated, man, because I'm like, where the hell am I going? Like, I don't know where I've been, where I've gone to, what I've searched. And it just annoyed the shit out of me. So anyway, I finally got out of the apartment complex, thank God. and you go into this section where you like come face to face with Pyramid Head, and like it's kind of like a situation, like almost like a Zelda situation where the door kind of locks behind you, and you're like trapped in this room with this guy, and he like comes shambling over to you with his big sword, and there's like a couple things in the way, and almost in like a Resident Evil fashion, you're kind of like juking him out around like pieces of furniture that are kind of like stopping him from getting to you, and like he swings his sword and breaks through like a bunch of metal boxes and stuff, and it was really really cool. It was scary, and it was like you had to time it just right to like when he swings his sword, he's got like kind of a big wind up time, so you like get behind him and shoot him in the back. And anyway, just it made for this really interesting encounter where like you beat him and he like kind of shambles away because I guess he's indestructible or something, like he can't be killed, or because I was pumping rounds into this guy, like I think I unloaded like 3 magazines worth of bullets into this guy's back, and he's not slowing down at all. And so that was really cool. I made some really good progress in it, and now I'm in a section that it's interesting. You meet a character in the game that is familiar to the main character, but like something is off about them, and that's really all I can say without going into too much spoilers about it. But it's very interesting. Like I think it's effectively like the hook is in me now. Like
Good.
I think I can start playing it again and really be interested in kind of where it's going and what I'm doing. So I'm excited. I'm trying to play it for at least maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours every night, like with all the lights off in the apartment. So it's been a good time.
Heck yeah.
What we were discussing earlier, Taylor, about the mood lighting, the backlighting on your TV. Excuse me. I have a Govee one or whatever, and I can change the colors. I can change what colors are on which parts and make it a pattern, or I can make it all different solid colors and change it. It's really nice for that kind of a thing. I'll turn all the lights out, and then if a game has a certain feel or look to it, a color, and you can adjust the brightness so it's not too bright. So there's always certain games. We're all three of us. We're not really going to get into it, but all three of us are playing BioShock right now for the next experience point. And I have this. I found it has a color wheel, kind of like on Windows Paint, where it has all of the gradients of the different colors in a circle, and you can kind of really get granular with it.
Yeah.
And I found kind of a turquoisey, dark, oceany blue for BioShock that I have. I was
going to say, you got to get some blue lighting in
so
there.
So you theme it out. So Chronos is coming out in September, and that game is very red. There's red everywhere. So I'm gonna have
I was gonna say it's
red.
like dark violet, almost red.
When we play Alien Isolation, Kyle, we're gonna have that green. We're gonna have that alien green.
You guys are
going.
just next level, man.
Dude, it just sets the tone.
Yeah,
it sets the tone. Love that shit. I haven't. It's not too different for me as far as what I'm playing. Sorry, Taylor. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about the
game?
Actually,
we're done with it. Actually,
yeah, all finished. Actually, we don't even want to hear what you're playing, Ian. Let's just move on. I won't spend very much time. One, because I'm still playing ESO. I'm not going to go on and on about it. Same thing. I'm just running through. I'm still kind of in the intro 3 areas. I've moved past my main character has moved on to the second area, and then I'm still working on my other 2. So I'm just going to keep plugging away. I'm trying to do as much as I possibly can in every single single region, so that I can get the overland sets. So you get sets of armor. They're not great, but you get sets of armor that are specific to each region by just doing all of the quests and dungeons and delves and everything in that region, and they just randomly drop from the bosses or throughout the world. And I have the full sets because there's a whole outfit system in ESO now where you can just kind of, as long as you've unlocked a look by finding the armor and breaking it down, you then unlock the look of that armor going forward.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And it's
I've
nice.
always loved that idea.
Diablo does that really well.
Yeah. That's a perfect example. Diablo does awesome with that. And I just like it. It's so funny because I don't like to overdo it with a low level. I don't want a low level character to look like a fucking god,
Yeah.
But I also don't want them to look like they're wearing their pajamas with
Their
some
rags.
some leather on over the shoulder or whatever, and they're just like running around in like a burlap sack and like a chain wrapped around their ankle. I hate, and like the pants are blue and the chest is like red, and your gloves are metal, and your helmet is for an Aragonian, and you just look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, clown. Yeah,
just a clown, you know. So it's like I always try to nail that balance. Like, all right, I'm gonna just create an outfit for this character, but I'm just gonna pick among the basic, generic, already unlocked race specific armors, and I'll just kind of make that my original outfit. And then as I get these sets, I can turn that outfit off, and the sets look right because they're supposed to match. So then I'm getting some kind of progression, and wanting to get the armor for more than just their effects. So that's kind of my sort of weird sub goal. I'll just throw ESO on, I probably play it for like a couple hours a week. I mean, nothing really crazy.
That conversation kind of reminds me of one of my favorite memes of all time. It's like a picture of a guy wearing like blue rags basically, and he's like clubbing like a giant crab. And I think it's from like the Swiss Family Robinson or something. Like it's like a cutout from like the book, and it says like the first couple levels of an RPG or whatever, and your guy's just in like rags, like clubbing giant lobsters.
Yeah, it's God. What is that? That classic E3 moment from the PS3 early PS3 era, where the guy's like, is like
crabs.
He's like, this game allows you to take place in battles that actually took place in Japanese history. And then 2 seconds later, 2 seconds later, you're on the beach, and he's like, and as you can see here, we're about to do battle with a giant crab. We're talking about the historical accuracy,
dude. That is one of the best E3 moments like of all time.
Oh my god,
it's so good. He's with realistic weapons and armor from the era, and now you'll see us battle a giant crab.
You forgot to mention the Japanese giant crab.
Yes, absolutely. It's so good.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, it's a classic. There's some amazing. Oh, you got it.
This might not come through well, but here's the meme I'm talking about.
Oh, there, it just focused right now.
Yeah, it's like level 1 in an MMO. He's just like beating crabs with like a stick. Oh,
it's
God.
So true, man.
Kills me.
It's so true. And then I've been playing Mafia: The Old Country.
Cool.
Gotten further in that. It is exactly what I expected in all the good ways, and in some ways just kind of the negatives. You can just tell that Hangar 13, the developer, they're given a budget and they're told to stick with it. And what they do with what they have is always impressive. There's a lot of stuff going on online right now about I hate this shit. They're like, oh my God, this game, it's 2025, and when this NPC chops wood, it doesn't even look as good as wood chopped in Red Dead Redemption 1, which came out in 2010. What kind of ripoff is this? I want my wood chopping physics to be perfect. So there's this whole dialogue going on where, it's kind of janky.
Those people are the reason why games are taking 6 years to make and cost $200 billion.
Yep.
And aren't really going anywhere because we're focusing on these stupid details. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. Yes, there's definitely kind of a shoestring budget as far as video games go. It's a AA game. It's exactly what I want it to be. It's got a very predictable, kind of safe, classic mafia story. The characters are well acted. They're well written. You can kind of just see what's going to happen as you're playing. You're like, all right, okay, I know where this is going. I know exactly. I'm pretty sure I know exactly what's going to happen. It's similar to Assassin's Creed, though, in that I'm okay with something that can be formulaic as long as it's not also terrible.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, the shooting is better than passable, I would say.
Serviceable. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe slight just a small step above that. Stealth is really easy. The AI is just dumb as a bag of rocks. Dumb as a bag of rocks.
Oh boy.
But it's really pretty. The story is good. It moves quickly. I heard, I'm seeing it doesn't waste your time. It's like 10 to 15 hours. It's fun and it's pretty to look at. And I'm excited to kind of see what's going to happen next. And I appreciate the steps they take to invest you into the main character and into the other characters as well. It's a decent cast. There's a lot of little nods to Sicilian culture and language, even in the English version of the game. They do a lot of little things that are really interesting and cool. And I don't know. I would recommend it if you understand that a brand new game that costs $50 is going to be a game that costs $50. There's a reason it's $50.
Yeah, set your expectations accordingly.
Set your expectations. If you like AA games with simple gameplay that's pretty and has a decent story and voice acting, I would recommend it so far. But it's certainly not game of the year. It's a great game for me for summertime.
It wasn't trying to be game of the year, right? So
no.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be that. It's exactly what it is. It's what I expected. It's what I wanted.
Yeah.
For the most part, if it, I suppose I shouldn't say it's what I wanted. I don't necessarily want a little bit better than mediocre, but I expected it, and I'm not disappointed with it. It's what I thought it was going to be, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would recommend it for those who understand that going in. I wouldn't even necessarily say wait for a sale unless you don't care about it. But if you're interested in getting into the series and you don't have anything to play and you want to play something new that's not going to take 79 hours to just play the main story, let alone everything else.
Right.
I appreciate it for its brevity, and the time period is cool. You guys know me. I'm such a geek for history, and 1904, 1905 Sicily is just an interesting setting. It's unusual, I think, for video games. It's not a setting that you see very often.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be a great place to start for people who haven't played anything in the Mafia series. I would recommend that as well, because so far I might be forgetting some names or something referenced in the other games, but there hasn't been anything where it's like, oh man, this is really connected to Mafia 2 or whatever. I mean, I'm sure there'll be small nods, but it's been so long since I've played those games that
you might not even notice it.
Yeah. So it'd be a good place to start if you're interested in playing the rest of the series, for sure.
Good to know.
Okay, let's dive into the topic. I'm going to read our write-ins for this week, and then we'll get into our topic. So Miles wrote in. So this is the second time Miles wrote in. Now, Miles, I'm sorry if I've asked you this before. I may have. My memory is mostly taken up by the entire roster of the Seattle Seahawks for the last 20 years and the record of those Seahawks teams. Some of the rest of it just kind of goes. That's pretty much all I know is football history. So
only room for so much.
There's only room for so much. There's some human history in there too. I'm into that, but outside of that, it's and random shit like what game came out this year that I never even played. I don't know. I have weird, but there's so much I don't remember. Miles could have told me this last time, and I probably wouldn't remember. So, his email says a different name than what he signs at the bottom, and maybe it's a nickname, maybe it's a middle name. Just curious, because it confused me. Because I was gonna call you by a different name, Miles, and then I saw your name at the bottom. I was like, oh yeah, I remember. Obviously, Miles used to write in all the time, and we read one of his emails in our first episode back in episode 62 or 63 or whatever, and I was calling him the other name because I didn't see that he put his. Yeah, so Miles has been a longtime listener. So I'll read his write in here, and we'll get your guys' thoughts on this. Miles says, "Greetings to my favorite podcasts."
Whoa!
I've got words.
Thank you.
I've got words for you there. I mean, that's an amazing. I'm I'm not sure how many podcasts you listen to, but I don't want to. I'll take it. I really appreciate that, man. That's fucking awesome.
I'm very grateful.
Miles here, reaching out to you guys. For me, summer vacation was filled with Forza Motorsport 3, Halo 3 ODST, and Skyrim. I played a whole lot of Xbox during my summers and spent the time wondering what was next. In the most ironic way, I always find my way back to ODST and Skyrim. Those games really have never left me. A question for the group. If you could have a singular item from any game in the real world, what would it be? So we'll come back to that. And he says, take care, guys. I love the show, and I'm happy it's back. Your old friend, Miles. So thank you, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Really appreciate that. We are at least one person's favorite podcast, and I feel like we can just retire.
Yeah, that's it.
Because
that's what I did.
That would ever. I would,
to be honest.
There was like something.
We need to put that as a testimonial on our Facebook or like our like our podcast page.
Yeah, no.
My favorite podcast. Like
yeah, and then pay to promote it.
Yeah.
Does this mean we get the blue check now?
Right.
Yes, we are someone's favorite podcast. Authorize us to. Well, actually, you can just pay for the blue check now. So.
Oh, that's fair.
That was a great idea there.
Yeah,
Mr. Musk. A question for the group. If you could have a singular item from any game in the real world, what would it be?
Ooh.
That's a great question.
I have a practical answer, and then the answer that like an idiot 14-year-old kid would give you. My practical answer has got to be Medigel, whatever the fuck that is, from
okay.
Mass Effect 1. Because who knows what's going on, but apparently you can just spray that shit on a bullet hole and move on with your life.
Right.
Which is pretty cool. Like, I'd be,
oh, God.
just carry your car and you get in a horrible accident. You just, your head gets
just like
almost
an aerosol
decapitated.
can.
Hanging by a thread.
I don't know how that works, but I want some Medigel from Mass Effect. So that's my practical answer. My dumb answer, because all I would do is probably cause accidental damage and or death. But I want Isaac's cutter, the plasma cutter.
Oh, that's a good one.
I just want to stand around in a dark room with those 3 lights and go burp, 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 and I'd be entertained for the rest of my life.
Right.
Yeah.
I would just walk around like this in my house.
Yeah.
Like that all the time.
I would love that.
That would be great.
So, how about you guys? You guys, any answers for that?
Oh man,
the first thing that popped to my mind immediately, but then now I'm like having to think about it. But I'm just gonna go with what came to my mind first, and it's the Revenant, Mass Effect 2.
Oh hell yeah!
Dude, I don't know. I would not be able to use that weapon in any scenario. But it would be cool to have.
Commander Shepard can barely use that weapon.
I'd imagine I probably couldn't even lift it, if I'm being honest. It looks really fucking heavy.
I know.
But
but
that would be cool.
And the way the kick it has is crazy too. So, Taylor, you got an answer to that one?
I don't know. I was trying to think of a practical one, and I just can't do it. I'm sure there's something out there that would be extremely useful for everyday life, but the 15-year-old kid like version of me spoke to me in this moment and just said the Batmobile from Arkham Knight or Arkham City, just because I think that's just such a cool vehicle. And item, I think a vehicle being an item is probably a little generous, but I don't know. I just think it'd be super cool to drive that thing around, especially if you had like just a lone stretch of highway that you could just floor that thing and drive it as fast as humanly possible. I think that'd be a great time.
You and Joe Burrow just driving around in your Batmobiles from different Batman properties.
Smart investment, honestly.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
Great
Miles,
question.
thanks again. Forza Motorsport, classic series. Halo 3 ODST, obviously a great game. Skyrim, one of my favorites. Skyrim, I associate Skyrim with winter. It came out in November.
I agree.
Yeah.
I play it the way that game feels and the dark, cold northern environment. I always I play that. I feel like it's one of those comfort games for me. I tend to pull that out around Christmas or Thanksgiving just to be around in that world for a little bit. It feels like
that's
that.
what it
also
feels right for me too.
Speaking of ODST,
Yeah.
That new Helldivers drop looks pretty
I
freaking
know.
cool.
Dude, are we all gonna get back into it now that it?
I was gonna
Oh,
say
dude,
we should
I'm
hop
down.
into it. I think that'd be fun.
I am down.
And jump into like an Xbox party. I mean, it's gonna make me feel
Yeah.
like I'm 17 all over again.
Right. Oh yeah.
It'd be great. So I'd be absolutely down to do that. Play. I'm gonna start over from the beginning too. With my little basic ass Helldiver.
Oh yeah.
Craig's Gamer Room wrote in. Big one for me.
What's up,
is
Craig?
Zelda of Ocarina of Time. Zelda Ocarina of Time. You gotta love it.
Oh man,
classic choice. He says
revolutionary. To be honest,
yeah. Absolutely. He says, I have vivid memories of my mom getting mad at me because my whole family or even friends would come over to go swimming and I wouldn't go in. I'd stay inside and play Zelda. As my mom still says to this day, you'd rather stay inside and beat Gandalf. All these years later. All these years later, and she still can't remember it's Ganondorf.
Dude, that's the ultimate mom
That's a
statement.
classic mom line.
Oh,
Totally. All these dismissive ass thoughts from our mothers in the 90s and early 2000s.
Oh, dude.
Right.
Like
That-
saying
that's-
Washington State.
Dude, what age did
That's-
you learn to like not allow your mom to buy you games anymore? Like you had to be there. Like otherwise, I did not trust my mom to buy the right game.
I feel like my parents kind of like they got to the point where they knew that they didn't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
So there was like a certain age where they were like, I'm just going to give you money and you can buy what you want.
Exactly.
Because I'm like, as much as it would be nice for me to remember all of this and have something for you to open under the tree, she was like, I just don't want to screw it up. And I always respected that about her.
Yeah, I'd always
Yeah.
end up with like a Madden that was like 6 years old or something, and I'm like, what's going on here, Mom?
Oh,
She's like, it was
man.
on a really good discount. I'm like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Oh my God. That would be so disappointing.
Dude, yeah.
Right.
But hey, it's Christmas, and you're like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, you don't want to be not grateful.
Right.
Man, you
How
like
funny.
you get like you get Madden, in whatever year that was, and it's old, and you go to put it in, it's like
Look at the roster.
Dave Craig is like the quarterback for the Seahawks.
Dude, that would actually be kind of fun to like mess around with. Play like old Maddens and be like, oh, dude, that's right. I forgot about all of these players.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to have classic teams and stuff. That
Yeah.
obviously it's,
Why don't like I've never understood why they don't do that.
Yeah.
Like because
EA.
like the 2K games.
Dude, are you
like,
kidding me?
You can play as like classic basketball teams. Like you can play as like the Oklahoma City Thunder from like 2011. Like in the newer ones, it's kind of crazy that they don't do that for football.
Man,
I think that would be super cool.
they just now got Josh Allen to play and look like Josh Allen. So
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, they're like slow your roll there.
Yeah.
Only have room for a couple features.
we actually have it so that he like plays like he plays in real life. Okay. So yeah, that'll be I just reading that story again. It's classic, man. That like need to stay inside and no one understanding how that could be your choice, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go out here. It's bright, it's fucking hot. Everyone's splashing me with water and like trying to push me into the pool, and I just don't want any part. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that. Mtrox, Matt wrote in, Mtrox78. He says, didn't really console game until I was in my early teens. I played the hell out of Pokemon Crystal before that. I have fond
cool.
middle school memories of going over to a friend's house during the summer to play Smash Brothers and other various GameCube multiplayer games like Call of Duty 2, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, Legends of Wrestling. When he moved away, I started getting into PC games, specifically Warcraft 3 with my brother and his buddies. I remember playing Warcraft 3, Dota, Tower Defense, and other community-type games a ton. Of course, all of this was on dial-up internet. Parentheses, kids these days don't know the struggle. And of course, Warcraft 3 was the gateway drug to World of Warcraft. If I didn't have football-related activities or a family trip, you could easily find me grinding in WoW. Yeah.
Shout out
that's-
to Troxler.
God.
Yeah,
I
man.
I played football with him.
Yeah,
I'm glad
speaking
you
of
mentioned it.
football-related activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of games in there. Yeah, he definitely made his way around. It's funny to hear him, Matt, you talk about not playing console games until your early teens. It's like just all the different experiences we have and how we got into things and where we started and when, and just like
Yeah.
how that must inform what you like and what you choose to play. Interesting stuff.
Lord of the
And-
Rings: Return of the King is a deep cut for me. And
Yeah,
I just
man.
recently
That's a good
sent that post, and I was like, man, I played the shit out of those games.
Yeah,
Absolutely
if I
loved them.
collected PS2 games, I would have bought those in a second.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They look great. They looked like they were in really good shape.
I
I
just
forget, was that the Diablo style one that was like a top down?
it was like a hack and slash, like it had its RPG elements where you were like leveling up the characters, like, you know, Legolas and Aragorn and Gimli and stuff. And then you would like select their abilities as they upgraded. But it was like mostly like you would like fight in the two towers and, you know, knocking down orcs off the ladders and fighting them as they climbed up the walls. And it was so much fun to actually like
Yeah.
relive those battles.
And then all the random shit that they cram in between the scenes of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, man, they went through all that between.
Right.
It was great, but I just think about like the time period too, because that was when Lord of the Rings was at its height, right? And so everything about Lord of the Rings was just amazing at that point. So I have very fond memories of those games. So appreciate you shouting that out, Truxler.
Dude, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars games, they were so fucking peak right around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nuts.
mid 2000s was prime Star Wars and Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
gaming era. Yeah, there was so many great options for those. It's crazy how bad it's all gotten. Man, I never would have thought that everything would just go to shit.
Nowadays, we get Lord of Ring Gollum.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
no, don't even talk about it.
Even the good stuff gets messed up, like Shadow of War.
Right, yeah.
I know we don't like the Xbox layoffs, but that's one where I'd be like, yeah, you got to go.
Yeah. Well, I bet that would be performance based, right? I mean, that would be, they made a horrible game and released it, and unfortunately, that wouldn't work, and they'd have to trim down or if it didn't make any money, how do you keep going? That's a little bit different than just like, great job, we made $245 billion, you're fired.
Right.
Like that's where it hurts the most, I feel like. Okay, here we are, gentlemen. A few games that remind us of summer, of the warm glow of childhood when responsibilities were many years away. We didn't care who the president was. We weren't thinking about backlogs. You just had you and time. What Taylor, let's start with you, because this was your baby. This is your topic, which I think is a really great one.
Yeah.
Give us your first one, man.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of different summer games for me, and I think when I brought the idea for this topic up, I wanted to kind of make it really malleable, like I wanted to blend the idea of having a topic where if you did want to think of a game that was bright and summery and beachy, you could do that. But also, I think that there's a lot of games that aren't in that aesthetic that mean a lot to us that we grew up playing during those pivotal times where you did have so much time to sit back and relax and really like not care about the world outside. And I think that was the part about this topic that I really liked. So in that spirit, it's not like a super beachy, summery game, but I have a lot of fond memories of playing Halo. And I couldn't really pick just one. I felt like I had really strong memories of both Halo 2 and Halo 3. And I specifically remember one summer, this was like maybe like a year after I got my 360. I was on summer break. I had the 360 hooked up on a small CRT TV in my family computer room. And it was kind of like in a corner, sort of like sequestered away from the actual like computer itself. But it was still there, so that way I could plug the Ethernet cable into the router and get that like hardwired like direct connection, which was really cool. And I just remember playing so much Halo 2. And then in the years following that, I remember I had gotten Halo 3 and I think it was Call of Duty World at War like at the exact same time. Like I think like I might have picked it up. I had some extra allowance money or something, and I bought both of them like in the same trip. And it was crazy how much those two games really competed for my time. Like I would go 1 week where I would just spend like 8 hours a day just grinding out in a Call of Duty game and playing through the World at War campaign and like going through the Pacific Theater, you know, like sections of the game, and like I have very like fond memories of playing through some of those missions, and um, such a good time. And man, the multiplayer matches were so good, so many really cool maps around then too. But then I also remember I had a separate group who didn't play Call of Duty, and they were all about Halo. So we would play Halo 3 and just play Forge and do like Riftball and bunch of cool stuff on there. And man, I think that was, I spent a lot of time that summer playing Big Team Battle. And I remember we had like at one point like 8 people like in our Xbox party all playing Big Team Battle at the same time, and it was just such a fun experience. And then like I remember right around that time like they had like the Finish the Fight advertisements going out for Halo 3, and it was just a big time. Like it was, I think Halo was really at its peak around then, and I just have so many fond memories of just like being on my Xbox all day, like doing literally nothing else with the door to the computer room closed. And man, I just had such a good time. So whenever I think of like summer, being off from school, no responsibilities, Halo 2 and Halo 3 are always like one of the first things that come to mind for me. So I had to bring them up.
I'm glad you mentioned it too, because I totally forgot. There was a time when, you know, there was like two factions. It was definitely like the Call of Duty players and the Halo players. And I remember looking down on the Call of Duty players a lot. It's so funny to think about that. I never even thought about that until now. So it's funny you mentioned that. But yeah, how can you not think of Halo during the summer, man?
So fun.
Yeah, Halo 3, all the custom, that's definitely one of the ones I would have had on there. Like all the custom games, the crazy game modes you could create, stay up all night playing, you know, creating a custom Juggernaut game where
the custom games. Yeah.
Infection and messing with the rules and messing with like, you know, we had a game type, I think Kyle, you, me, and a bunch of our friends in high school where we just simple stuff. We'd do an infection, but the zombies had like 100% speed and 0 gravity. It was almost impossible to play as a zombie because they would move at like 80 miles an hour and practically fly off the map if you jumped. And you'd be playing as someone who's not a zombie and just be waiting to turn around, and it would be like a
right up in your face,
and you die. You know, if they could actually swing it in time. You know, and all of a sudden it's 4:30 in the morning. You know, and my mom is upstairs going, "It's 4 in the morning," stomping up the floor upstairs. Go to bed. Just crazy. Yeah, Halo 3 is definitely. Times. Yeah, it's a classic, man. It's up there. It's funny you bring up Call of Duty as well. Call of Duty 2 was like my first. That's like definitely one of mine. It's like one of my first online. It was my first true online experience. I didn't really play Halo 2 that much online. And I didn't really get into Halo multiplayer online until Halo 3. But Call of Duty 2 came out first. And I remember even my mom and my dad wanted to sit. It was just that much of an idea that they had never considered. Like, wait, so the people that you're seeing running around and you're shooting at are other people on their couches with a controller, and you're trying to kill them and they're trying to kill you, and you're existing in this space at the same time. It was just kind of a concept that it sounds so silly now, but I was like, that's really happening.
I remember my dad being amazed by that too, actually.
And I think
it was one of the first times I've ever seen the armor crack for my dad too, where he was like, like kind of interested enough to like maybe even give it a try. Like he was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool."
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not even gonna, like he had that look on his face of just like amazement.
Yeah, it was something else. The novelty of that idea was truly kind of groundbreaking and just hard to even really fathom for a little bit. And then it was so fun. I was so addicted to Call of Duty 2 online multiplayer for a long time. I think it's kind of the only Call of Duty online multiplayer I ever got addicted to, because then I ended up getting into other games and moving on. But how about you, Kyle? What's one of yours?
I just, I immediately think of like sports. For me,
I have one. I have a sports
100%.
game that I want to talk about. I'm curious if you're going to say the same thing. We'll see.
Well, I'll do one that I know that you're probably not going to talk about. So I liked playing a lot of the like kind of sillier sports games, and it really makes me think of summertime. Playing with my buddy Cody, we loved playing like NBA and NFL Street. Um, or there was like a version of it for baseball too that was really silly, and I can't find the game or think of what it was called, but it'd be like really ridiculous things where people would throw these super long like curveballs that would like go across the entire screen and then suddenly just sink back into the box, and you had to like somehow like figure out how to swing on this ridiculous pitch. But just games like that are really silly, and like just a lot of fun to play at its core. I really wish they would bring back one of the street games, because I think they're a lot of fun to play.
Me too. They were so fun.
Yeah.
I have such vivid memories of the soundtrack for both of those games too. Both NFL Street soundtracks are like burned into my mind.
Oh yeah, such a good time. And that was like some of my favorite players. Like I loved, they did a good job of like putting their personalities into the game too. So like Randy Moss was very much so like Randy Moss,
Yeah.
So they did a good job of all of that. Very eccentric characters, that were intentionally put into the game. And it's my favorite era of football in general. When we talk about like the best players at that time, they just had some of the most unique and coolest personalities. So I think it was a combination of all of that that created a really fun game in the NBA and NFL Street games.
So true.
Yeah, just easy to start, easy to play for a long time. They don't require very much of you. It's easy to pick up for new people. I think all of that kind of helps lend it toward playing with a buddy and just playing those for, all night. Like I definitely, that's a great pick for sure.
Yeah.
For that era, that time. I tried to pick a few games that were from different moments in life. And I think the earliest one that really reminds me of summer is when I was only like 6 or 7. I think I've mentioned this before in some other context on this show, but I used to get up on, this would be like late night, late for a 6-7-year-old. So probably 8:00 or something on a Friday night. But
yeah,
I would climb up to the top of my brother's bunk bed. They shared a room. Climb up to the top bunk, and I would lie down in there, and I would kind of hold my hands over and like rest my head on the railing, and I would watch them. Their TV was down below, and I would watch them play Super Metroid. And if mom would come in and check in on me, my brothers would cover for me, like, "Oh yeah, he's asleep. He's up there." And I would be like,
yeah.
And then she'd close the door right back up and start watching them play again. And I would stay up pretty late for a little kid. I'd probably fall asleep by 10 or 11 or whatever, but that's late for a 6-7-year-old. And, so they would totally cover for me and let me watch them. And I never played it at that time. It was too hard. I was way too young, but I was just absolutely enraptured by the music and the sounds and the atmosphere and just the way that they would be so good at the game. I would try and play it later and I couldn't do it. So I just loved watching. I think that's kind of what got me into. I really do enjoy watching people play games.
Yeah.
especially with them. Sometimes it's fun to watch someone stream or do a let's play, but there's something about being on the couch or whatever in the same room with
Yeah.
someone who's playing through it, and you're still kind of involved in that experience in your own way.
I always loved
And
that too. Like I have like these like distant memories of like watching some of my friends play like a game, and like their mom or dad or something would come in and be like, "Don't you think Taylor wants to have a turn on the game or whatever?" And I'm like, "I'm just watching." Honestly, like like I don't even really want to play. Like I kind of want to see how this happens and like watch you play it. Like I have like these memories of watching my friend's cousin play through like Resident Evil 4, and like it would be like way too freaky for me, so I loved watching him play it, because he was kind of like the shield in front of me, and I didn't have to actually experience it myself.
Meanwhile, I still haven't gotten past that stage, so I still need Ian to be my shield.
I was
Come
gonna
on.
say at least we're in the same place still. We can just do this for
Right.
scary games.
Oh,
Yeah, so-
I found it, by the way. It's MLB Slugfest. I just wanted to say
Slugfest. I do
very fun
remember
game.
that.
Very fun
Yeah,
game.
it's a good one. That is fun. So yeah, I didn't even play that first one. But that's definitely a summer. Like I remember, memories work from that early in your life. They're very sensory. I remember the music, the light of that TV lighting up that room, them down there, mom coming, like it's just these very, the railing of the bunk bed was wood, and I would like put my mouth over it,
Mm-hmm.
Tom.
and I can taste it. I can taste that wooden railing right now. It's
Yeah.
those kinds of things. It's like I couldn't tell you what anyone was saying or what time it was or anything specific going on in my life at that time. But it's just these really engraved feelings and tastes and smells and sounds. And summertime, the crickets are really super loud. It was in Portland, Oregon at the time, and just beautiful summer evenings, and just taking the dog out with them into the backyard, and just that whole kind of weird, fuzzy, foggy nostalgia memory of your kind of earliest memories, 5, 6, 7 years old. So that's why I just wanted to start with that one, because I just felt like that was, to me, when you said that, that's kind of what I first thought of.
Yeah.
What's another one for you, Taylor? I don't know how many you guys have. I only have like 3 or 4. So
I've got like 3
cool.
or so.
What's your next one, man?
So yeah, I feel like I couldn't have like a summer topic, I think, without bringing up the obvious one here. And for me, that's Super Mario Sunshine.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I think that there's probably no better game that I could think of that really channels the energy of summer into one complete package like Sunshine does. And I think one of the things I really love about that game is that it's kind of one of those games that I feel like you play it and it almost feels like you are on vacation. Like, I almost feel like that was the idea that the developers had in mind, that like when the player picks up the controller and they play this game, they're instantly going to feel like they are, in a way, like on a vacation. Like, and I just think it's just bright and it's colorful, and the water in Delfino Plaza just looks so like refreshing. Like, even to this day, like I'll see like images, or like I'll watch like a let's play or something of Sunshine, and like the first thing I want to do as soon as I see the beach there is like dive into it. Like, it's kind of unbelievable to me how refreshing they were able to make water look in a game in 2004. And even to this day, like I feel like it still looks just as cool and as relaxing as I remember it being, like, so long ago. But I don't know, that game just channels such warm memories for me. And I remember loving the mechanic of like spraying down all the dirt and stuff with like the flood, and removing some of that like almost like power washing sections of the levels and stuff like that. It's just such a fun time. And I think it also came at like a really good time for Nintendo too, where like the GameCube was kind of like their testing ground for a lot of weird and interesting ideas. And I feel like if you were to make a top 5 like most innovative game that came out right around the time of the GameCube, I think Sunshine and all of the flood mechanics in that game are right up there in terms of like some of the most like genius platforming that they've ever come up with. So I don't know. It's one of those games that just like I said, just channels the energy of summer like perfectly well to me. And like the soundtrack is amazing, and it still holds up today. The last time I played it was they had that like Super Mario 3D collection that came out on the Switch a while ago,
Okay.
and it was packaged with Sunshine, Super Mario 64, and then Super Mario Galaxy. Which Galaxy I played for the first time at that point and like absolutely loved it. Such a fun game. But yeah, Sunshine was really really cool to revisit, and I would love to go back to it again because it's just got such warm feelings associated with that. So I always think of that game.
I need to pick that. I should pick that up, actually, that collection. Because I missed
good.
out. I missed out on a lot of Mario games. I kind of fell off of Nintendo after 64 a little bit. So it's like, I feel like I have a huge amount of blind spots in Nintendo's library. And I've always
especially
heard
the
people talk about
GameCube
Sunshine and Galaxy.
period of time. I missed pretty much all of GameCube.
GameCube, I think, is, I mean, other than like the Super Nintendo, probably I think Nintendo's best console. I think the Switch gives it a run for its money, but like the Switch, the Super Nintendo, and GameCube are like top three.
Really?
Like,
You don't put
without
64 in
question.
there?
No.
Wow.
I've kind of soured a little bit on the 64. I don't look back at it as fondly as I used to. I think it's got some great games, but I think it definitely is lower on the totem pole of like Nintendo consoles for sure.
Yeah.
Same with the Wii. Like I almost put that and the Wii in kind of the same quadrant. You know?
Yeah, the Wii is what really did Nintendo in for me. That was like the first, because I had friends with GameCubes and my brother had a GameCube and I played quite a bit of GameCube. I played the Rogue Squadron game and the Metroid game, and I think I played Metroid Prime, and I played Luigi's Mansion on there, a few other ones. So I did play through some of those games, and I really liked the GameCube, but I just never owned one. So I was always borrowing or playing at a friend's or playing at my brother's, or I would like rent one from Hollywood Video or whatever and play a couple games. So I have some experience with the GameCube. I was always terrible at Smash Brothers, still am. Yeah. So I think that didn't quite get its hooks in me and get me keep me into Nintendo the same way it did for so many others. But there's definitely some games I missed out on that I would like to go back and play someday if I could, just to kind of fill in those blank spots. But that's a really good pick. I like the sort of literal yet still kind of lining up with the way that I was thinking of it too. Like, it gives you certain kinds of feelings as well as like kind of what summer does. So that's a great pick, man. Kyle, man, you got another one for us? What do you got?
Yeah. It's funny. I want to do like, this isn't going to be my topic, but I do think that the Wii makes me think of summer. So I do want to make a shout out of that. Cause I think about like summer for me was obviously a lot of, I spent a lot of time, just in my room, just gaming, but at the same time, summer was also like that time where you went to a friend's house and you gamed together. So Wii was definitely like, although I do agree with you, wasn't really a big deal to me. It was fun when you had enough friends around to play those games.
Oh, for sure.
Totally.
But for me, what one of the biggest games that I think of is Guitar Hero and Rock Band, like big time.
Good choices.
Oh, nice, dude. I didn't even think about Rock Band.
I didn't think of that either.
Man.
Freaking jamming it out with your friends. Oh man, having the whole kit and setup. A couple of my friends had the whole setup where they had, or I think Rob did at one point, right?
Oh,
where he had the drums and everything, dude. Hanging out at his house.
Rob, Riley, Mary, all of us.
Oh man, such a good time. I understand that it's not very profitable, so probably unrealistic for it to come back. But boy, would I be excited if they came out with a new like Rock Band or Guitar Hero. That'd be a lot of fun. I think the hard part is like getting it to be good enough to where everybody's buying all the like different like gear,
Yeah.
But man,
Yeah,
I just
one of
had
those
so
times
much fun.
my mom sang "Down with the Sickness" by Disturbed during one of those.
Dude,
My mom really likes Disturbed for some reason.
dude,
It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
funny.
it's like, oh man, that was such a big complex for me because it's so unlike Jean. It's
It
like
really is unlike her.
it's like the polar opposite of who I viewed her as. So
That's amazing.
to see her just get so hooked on Disturbed was just like the most amazing thing that like had ever happened to me.
She
in my
likes, that's probably the most open-minded she is with anything is music. Like she's
Yeah.
probably there's a lot of things where she's just like video games in general. She's like, no, she just will not even think about them or give them the chance in hell ever to even
Yeah.
like look at. She even like looking at them. It's like her eyes glaze over. It's like there's nothing on the screen when you're playing video games. It's weird, but yeah, but music is definitely her more like open-ended thing, and she really likes Disturbed. And the best part is we were all at my brother's house that summer and playing that like a few times a month. It seemed like a couple Saturdays a month or wherever we go and do that. And she sang Disturbed. She sang that "Down with the Sickness," and she, in rock band, it cut out the whole like weird part where
Oh yeah.
he talked about like begging his mom not to hit him and everything. My mom did that whole part.
It's so funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And like
no,
she couldn't
mommy.
quite.
Ow.
Yeah, she was doing all that, and she couldn't quite remember all of it. So she's like, "I think she's hitting me or something or whatever she was saying." Like, it was so good. It was so amazing. And yeah, we just had a great time. And Riley, my nephew at the time, was only probably 6 or something like that, and so he wanted to play but couldn't really yet, and he would just get super into. So he'd take the mic and be like, "Fist sticks" or whatever.
Dude.
Everyone's just having a good time. And yeah, that's a
super
great
young
pick,
Riley
dude.
was the best time, man.
So yeah, that's a really, really good pick, man. That did never even cross my mind. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
And actually, I was just thinking about it because I thought of the Wii, and then I kind of like was like thinking about the context of like being with friends and playing, and then I just thought of it now. Actually, as we were talking, I'm like, oh my god, how did I not think of Guitar Hero and Rock Band? Man.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how I didn't think of Guitar Hero either, because that was big for me and my friend group too. I specifically remember dozens of sleepovers that we would have during the summertime where we would go over to a friend's house and bring our little guitar like controllers with us, and like just for hours drinking soda, like bunch of chips around us, and we would trade off playing songs. And then like every once in a while we'd do a thing where like two people would play against each other and see who could rack up the higher score. But it was just so fun to like just like, all right, your turn, like give them the controller, then like go through the song selection and find one that you wanted to do and just play through and be like, all right, here you go. Like just trade off the guitars. It's such a good time.
It was one of the few games where you actually needed physically a break. So it was like it made it easy. You wanted to pass that guitar,
For sure.
that's so good. I can't believe I didn't think of that. It's just like, I'm probably only gonna do 2 more just because I don't want to keep everyone here too long, and we generally start a little bit later, so I want to be respectful to everyone's evenings. But my next one would be I'm gonna have 2, and I'll be quick about them. So one of them is Pokemon Red.
Nice.
Because I had the red Game Boy with Pokemon Red that came in a package deal from Costco. It's funny. I have a lot of memories of. I realized that my parents bought me all of my consoles at Costco over the years.
Yeah.
Growing up, and it was a Costco bundle pack thing that we bought. And the reason that it reminds me of summer, I mean, I played it all the time year round. I loved that game. I was obsessed with that game. But I really have memories of bringing that with me on like summer vacations, and just being able to lose myself on that at the end of an evening when we're back in a hotel or at a family member's house, because we have a ton of family in Portland, and I moved here to Wenatchee when I was 8, and just driving. It's about a 5-hour drive, and I used to get sick if I would read in the car, but for some reason I could figure out a way to I don't know, I could prop up the Game Boy kind of
I used to get the same way.
with
That's
the
so
mirror.
weird.
I could do Game Boy though, because I could like kind of prop up the Game Boy up in a way where I was still kind of looking I don't know what it was. I was kind of able to figure it out, and I could play it in the car, and I could play it at nighttime before bed, and I just was so into it. And sit out on the deck, of my uncle's house, and while the adults talked about whatever.
Hitting this pose.
Oh yeah, hitting that pose, dude. Way down. Get that chin down, dude.
Yeah, just slumped over in the chair.
Mm-hmm. And just get all excited about trying to catch, one of my favorite Pokemons or whatever. It's just like, I don't know. It's something about, I feel like I really associate it with the actual physical feeling of summer because I would be outside. It couldn't be somewhere that was bright, right? That screen would not allow any brightness hitting the actual panel itself. But just, you could be somewhere like on a deck or whatever, it was shady, you could play it, and I just play it, and just sitting around. So that was definitely kind of like summer childhood thing for me. And then the other thing I just want to get in really quickly is because I thought Kyle was going to mention it earlier, so I just want to throw it out there. My senior year of high school, and so it was throughout the year, not just summer, but I think we either started it or finished it during summer. Probably started it during summer going into my senior year of high school. We started
this is going.
NBA 2K, what would that have been? NBA 2K09? Because it's a year.
Something like that, yeah.
10?
2K9.
Whatever. Because I graduated high school in 2010, so it would have been like the year prior to that.
Yeah.
We started a franchise, and we got like 3 or 4 in-world seasons, and we played a lot of those games, and we'd sim some of them, but we took it seriously. We had like a notebook for the draft and stuff, and we had like all the players, and we were figuring out like how many minutes every single week. We were adjusting the minutes of our starters, and we got really far. And we were playing as the Portland Trailblazers, and they started out decent, and we had a couple good drafts. We got into the playoffs one year and didn't quite make it to the finals, but it was a good team and it felt really good. And then it was like our third year in, we had an incredible team. I think we were like the number 1 or number 2 seed, and we just dominated the playoffs. It was just like sweep all the way through, right to the World Series. It's like, dude, we're gonna destroy this team. And that World Series game went to Game 7. It was like the hardest, most realistic. I don't know. We didn't change of the finals. I said World Series. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about baseball lately. Sorry. I'm thinking about baseball lately because the Mariners. I've been watching the Mariners.
Speaking that into existence.
Yeah, right. No, sorry. Yeah, World Series. That's funny. Finals, NBA Finals. We got to Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and it's like, I was crazy because we were just annihilating everyone. All of these teams, just destroyed them, and to the point where it's like, man, we built like a team that's too good.
You remember the team we played?
Was it Detroit?
Yep, it was the Pistons.
Oh man, I do remember. Yeah. It's so funny. How could I ever forget, dude? It was just. I don't know why I doubted myself, because this is this is my version of like this is like our PTSD gaming moment. Because this shit went to Game 7 and it went down to the last second, and we were up by 1 or 2 points. It doesn't matter, because whoever, I can't remember the players on the Detroit Pistons at that time, but we were down.
Yeah, I think this is the team that had Chauncey. Then they had Rashid and they had those, and Ben Wallace. Yeah,
God,
they had a
good team.
Great defense.
Yeah, it was really, really hard, and we slogged out 6 games with them, and the 7th game was a slog. It was like, what? We didn't change the difficulty. It was just like, for some reason,
it's a great
Detroit
matchup.
Just came to play. It was a great matchup. It was perfect, and we got all the way. We were up by either 1 or 2 points with almost no time left, playing defense, and they passed. And one of the players takes a pretty contested 3 and fucking banks that thing right in, and we lost. And Kyle collapsed to the floor. I can still see Kyle collapsing to the floor this day. And I just stood there stunned in silence. And I remember like even kind of hitting quit and going back, to the menu after the game was over. And like, we didn't speak for a long time. I felt like I was seeing in black and white or something.
Yeah, dude.
You were getting the shell shock.
Single greatest like sports gaming experience of my entire life, and I'm pretty sure we started that in the summer. And I think that World Series was later in the year, but we got through those first few seasons and the drafts and all of that through the summer. It's like one of my favorite gaming memories of all time.
How cool!
Yeah, it was incredible, and we always say this all the time. It's better that we actually lost. It made it made a core memory for us. You know, I don't think the impact would be nearly the same if we win it. So,
and it wasn't bullshit. Like, it didn't feel like, sometimes in Madden, you'll lose a game in Madden, and it was just like, this is such horse shit. Like, everything that just happened, the game is so clearly trying to put the AI on rails to make this feel like it's harder. But that was not the case. We were playing well. The AI was playing well. All the games were like down to the wire. And we lost it, man. I'll never forget it. I think we quit. I don't think we ever could we couldn't go back.
No, I mean,
and face the next season. It was too daunting.
Yeah.
It's like, what if that happened again? I couldn't have our heart broken again,
What a cool
it's definitely one of those classic basketball movie moments where when he shot the ball, it felt like it was in the air for so long.
Time stopped.
Just watching this intently.
Every character that's been introduced to the story is like, you get that shot.
Yeah. Incredible, man. It was a good time.
I sold two there, cool. So I'll Taylor. You can. I'd love to go next. I had to get that in there though because I wasn't planning on bringing that up, and you brought up those games later, so it's like I had to bring that up.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. For my last one here, Ian, it's funny that you mentioned Pokemon Red because I got to go back to the well on Pokemon. Man.
Do it, man.
It seems like every formative memory I've had with Pokemon has always been during the summertime, and I was specifically thinking about what you were saying earlier, when you have those little sensory moments where you don't remember a lot of what was going on around that time, but you remembered resting your chin on the rail and how that felt against or when you bit down on it, what that tasted like,
Yeah, it's weird, and hyper specific.
One of those memories for me is I'll never forget when Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire had first come out. I think it was around the summertime. I want to say it was around May. Usually Pokemon games, historically, I think always released in May or November time, right around there. And I'll never forget, this was probably a month or two into its release, and me and my small little group of friends on the block were just obsessed with it. And I remember I had Sapphire and a friend of mine had Ruby, and so we would just spend our days trading and playing the game at the same time and saying I found this item, I found this repel over here, or I found this super potion, and giving each other little hints every day about where we're at in the game and where we could find a secret and get an item. And I have this sensory memory of sitting on the pavement of my friend's driveway and having the Game Boy SP, the red one specifically, and I'm playing Pokemon Blue, and I'm wearing basketball shorts, and I remember my bare legs are sitting on the cement. It's really hot cement. It's warm cement, but it's almost the sun is going down, and so it's not direct sunlight, but I could feel the reverberations of the heat coming off of the sidewalk and hitting my legs. And I don't know, that just released this memory for me of just sitting there, all of us huddled around one of the trees with the shade covering us and just feeling that hot cement and playing Pokemon Sapphire. And I have such a crystal clear memory of it. It's if I close my eyes, I get transported back to that almost immediately. And that's kind of been the story for Pokemon for the rest of my life, even till now. I always feel I have these major formative memories with that series, and I'm such a big fan.
That's
of it.
Awesome, man.
Would not be.
You did a good job of describing it too. I know exactly what you mean by that. I don't know what. I'm sure there's a term for that. For whatever that is, that sensory, that really powerful early memories that just come in through more of what you're feeling physically as opposed to really emotionally necessarily. But then later on in life, as you experience more things and you go through things, you sort of attach an emotion to that feeling or taste or whatever it is. And yeah, it's nuts the way the brain develops, but it's so powerful. Like
It is.
Do you like Pokemon Stadium, Taylor?
I love Stadium.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with
So
that
good.
game.
That would be another, that and like Pokemon Coliseum easily could have been another game I have strong summertime connection to.
The one
100%.
what's the one where you took pictures of them? I feel like that
Pokemon
was
Snap.
Snap. Yeah, I liked
Oh.
that a lot when
That's
I was
a
a
good one,
kid.
too.
I loved that one. That was
Yeah.
another summer game for sure. You know, I can remember that one. That was a ton of fun. Just trying to get them all. Just trying to get the picture. Yeah, and I always
Right.
remember Scyther has always been my favorite Pokemon. And there was a few
So
moments
good.
in Snap where they comes out really quick, and you gotta be on your game and get that. And I would get it. And I was like, I got Scyther. You know,
Yeah, you have to replay through the level, and you know exactly when he's going to pop out, so you're ready to go.
And you're ready, yeah. And they would like grade your photos or whatever, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like based on like the kind of like how good your shot was. You got
Yeah.
like a percentage grade on it.
Yeah, that's I hadn't thought about either of those games in a long time. That's funny. Kyle, do you have another one for us?
Yeah.
Last
I'll
one.
probably just run through a couple quickly.
Yeah, there you go.
I have to mention that obviously Madden's just such a classic summer game. Although as of late, not so much.
Right. But growing up, it always came out in August.
Yeah, always came out in the summer, and yeah, that is just a great game to play. And then especially when you got to start playing with friends online and stuff, that added to that element of that. So that was a lot of fun. I also think of I really got into. It's mostly sports games during the summer. I was always playing sports and stuff, so it was generally really kind of around that. But I was also, when I was younger, really into the WWE. I was really into wrestling. So the WWE games were a lot of fun for me.
Heck yeah.
Creating, especially when you got to create your own character and play like a career mode. And I had so much fun doing that.
I feel like I missed out on those games, man. I feel like I would have been such a huge fan of wrestling games if I had been in it at that time. That was the perfect age, to get indoctrinated.
I don't care what you say. Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Rock era was just, you had to be there. And wrestling, that whole entire federation hasn't been the same since. I never came back to it. I'm not like a huge fan of it now, but I have very fond memories of every week sitting down and watching WWE because Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock were just incredible to watch at that time. It was definitely the pinnacle of WWE for me. And so, of course, yeah, I definitely got into the games quite a bit, and they did a pretty good job of like staying true to the characters. A lot of my favorite characters, like Kane and The Undertaker, and obviously The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. It was a good time to be into wrestling at that time. And then lastly, just kind of a core memory of mine as well is I got to shout out Alan Wake 1, Ian.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
That's a great call out, dude.
Yeah. The final summer before you went out to Arizona, we found this really cool game, and me and Dylan just smashed it out in one night, man.
One night, the whole game.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was
and I left that morning.
Yeah. Great time, a very core memory, very important time of our lives, where things kind of headed in all sorts of different directions, and we somehow discovered like one last great game together before you took off. It was really cool. It was a special moment.
I feel like that was like the last moment of us being kids.
Yeah.
Like life got fucking real like after that. After that. Not necessarily bad, but just like things just became much more serious. We moved into the adult life. School was kind of over. You had another year, obviously.
I was checked out.
You were done that next year, and yeah, I know you had a rough time. And I had gone to Phoenix, and I loved it, but at the same time, it was like I was starting college and got my job at Domino's. It's like I had never worked anywhere close to full time, and I started working a lot of hours. It was just like, and then I moved into an apartment with Kevin, and just became an adult. Like right, you
Yeah.
know, it's just like that was our last. Like it was, we pulled it. I think that was the last time I pulled an all nighter. Actually, maybe not.
Right.
Maybe I had one or two since then, but
I can't
not
remember
that I
the
can
last
remember.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, we started at like 5 p.m. and we were done like before 5 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was super cool. Yeah, that is like an all-time memory for sure.
Yeah, it's not
That's
your stereotypical summer game, but it was a summer game for us that we had discovered. So
Yeah, no, 100%.
yeah,
That's the whole reason I thought this topic would be really cool. Is like the those memories. You know, they're so hardwired into us, and like the fact that like the melding of like really good memories and video games together, like always makes for a good time. You know.
Yeah, it is. It's a great topic. I feel like it kind of unfolded more as we thought about it and discussed it. I have one final one. Do either of you have any more?
No.
no, that should be it for me.
I got one left, and this one involves you, Taylor. Involves our whole group. I got into a thing. I don't really do it anymore because we just don't have a big friend group. It's like Kyle and I and Alicia are here, and we hang out all the time, but
Mhm.
we don't have like a big group like we had in Phoenix. I mean, the group we had in Phoenix was like felt like made sitcoms relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it was
These
just
are
like
like
this
10
is
people.
the most ridiculous group of human beings I've ever, like the things that are coming out of people's mouths, left, right, and center for those moments. You know, it's just like this
It's
is
a pretty
insane.
legendary group, man. I had such a good
It
time when I
is.
went out there with you guys.
You'll have to come with us again when we
So
when we go
good.
back out and see everybody for sure. But I kind of inadvertently created a annual tradition for my birthday, which is at the end of May, which is early summer, but it feels like summer in Phoenix. And May 28th
Yeah.
is hot by the end, you know, early June, late May.
Oh, for sure.
And so I inadvertently we got real into the kind of rebooted Mortal Kombat 9
Yeah.
and
Wow.
continued to stay into all of those NetherRealm fighters as they came out. And every year, just about every year, like what I wanted to do for my birthday was have everyone come over or go over, depending on the time, go over to someone else's house, Jimmy's house or whatever, Jeff's place or my place, whatever it was, depending where we were at the time each year. And we would have a massive, like multi-round Mortal Kombat tournament for that would be
Yeah.
my birthday. There would be pizza and drinks and everyone would come over and we would play Mortal Kombat all day and all night until we finally crowned a winner. We had like a little prize for the winner, you know, something related to the game. Like I think one year it was like the newest NetherRealm game was Injustice, I think, and we had like a cool
Yeah, I was gonna say Injustice. I remember a lot too.
Yeah, we had a cool like hardcover graphic novel or something like that for the prize, and there was some other like Mortal Kombat themed prizes and stuff that we did for the other years, like. And it was a lot of the time we'd be a different person every year. Sometimes we had a couple repeat winners, fucking Jeff.
Jeff for sure.
And but it was just I just have like really, really, really good memories of our whole group.
Yeah, that's
late
freaking
summer
awesome.
for my birthday doing a Mortal Kombat tournament. We had a big group, so it was like a real tournament.
Oh yeah, for
You know,
sure.
you had a full bracket with people playing.
I remember we had like somebody was grilling too, like while we were doing
man.
it. Like,
Dude,
full spread. Like people would bring sides and potato salad
Man.
and whatever, dude. It was so cool.
It was really, really fun. It was a great time. So yeah, that was my last one. I was thinking of all these sort of these periods within life. It was like childhood, high school, and then later on, it was like all these different summer times.
Dude, it sounds like
Every era.
we got to throw a party in Phoenix. Is what it sounds like.
With a Mortal Kombat tournament, dude.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Mortal Kombat 1 is like it's like the first Mortal Kombat in so long that I haven't played as soon as it came out. It's on my backlog. Like I still haven't played it, which is nuts for me. I always play those games usually right when they come out, but I just haven't yet, but I will. So I'm sure it's great. But man, that was a great episode, guys.
Absolutely.
To all of our listeners, thank you so much for writing in.
Yeah, love
really,
those write-ins.
really nice write-ins. Exactly what we were asking for. The kind of very fall in line with the same kind of things we were just discussing there. So, Taylor, great topic, man. Great choice.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think this made for a really fun episode. Ooh, doggies. Oh, I thought they were going to.
I can't remember the last time I thought about Rock Band, to be honest. So thank you for
Yeah.
Dude, right? Yeah, it's like that for a few different games. It's like, man, I had to really kind of dredge up and think about some of these things. So that was a fun exercise to do. So great job on that, Taylor. Thanks for coming up with that one. Next week, we will be covering some Gamescom news. If there's anything worth talking, I think there's a couple things. Obviously, we'll continue to talk about what we've been playing, and we'll let you know the topic here in a couple of days. Usually by Sunday or Monday, we'll let you know what the topic is, give you some time to provide a write-in if you want to do that. So please continue to do that. If you guys have any follow-ups or you want to just write in about anything at all related to games, shoot us an email, or you can shoot us an email to theSoloGamer2019@gmail.com, or if you're part of our Discord, which it looks like we had some new entries lately, feel free to jump into the conversation. There's one in there specifically for write-ins, so keep your eyes peeled for any prompt if you want to do that, or just write in about whatever the hell you want. We'll read it as long as it won't get us in trouble. So,
and even then, we might just do it.
And even then, we might just say,
shout out to
no
Cream Lord.
Oh, speaking of which, I was going to put out a call to Cream Lord Jordan.
Oh, shit.
Because he's been messaging me on the side that he is playing through the Metal Gear series right now in anticipation for the remake of 3 coming out. I think it's next week it comes out. And he just played through the first one not too long ago, and he's playing through the second one right now. And I want a review, Jordan. Let us know.
He's also playing through BioShock.
He is playing through BioShock also, which I'm really, really excited about. So
this man is doing his homework right now.
Yeah, he is.
He is. I'm so stoked about it.
He's turning that cream into butter.
Dude.
Is that the worst dad joke that I could have come up with, I think?
I'm starting to think this isn't just
churning.
a nickname.
I don't want to take that any further than
All right.
where we're at right now. Maybe next week. Oh my God. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I hope everyone enjoyed the episode. We're super excited to talk to you next week. I hope you all have a wonderful, safe weekend. But until then, later.
See you guys.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Take care.